afternoon, good evening, good whenever it is you're tuning in. Welcome to Ticket Price, and you better get ready! You better get ready, because we're talking about Braveheart. We're talking about my man Mel Gibson. We're talking about my man Mel Gibson and Braveheart. Who am I? I'm Jake. This is Ticket Price. That handsome bastard over there, co-host extraordinaire, and the only man who has an uncomfortable obsession with an actor, Tevis at Master Control. Tevis, how are you, sir?
Wait, no, you're talking about you. No,
I'm talking about you and Harrison Ford. It's weird. You make everyone uncomfortable every time you talk about Harrison Ford. I've been getting the messages. I read the comments, the emails, and the letters come in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I talking about 6 minutes and 33 seconds of the director's cut?
That is the first time you got the timestamp right, by the way.
I've been memorizing it for the past month.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying you're making us all uncomfortable. But no one cares about you. We're talking about Mel Gibson. We're talking about Mel Gibson. And not just Mel Gibson. We're talking about Braveheart. Are you ready? I'm ready. I don't know if you can tell. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. The 1995 classic.
Masterpiece.
This is in my top movies of all time. Probably top 5 of all time.
I'll give you that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Top 5.
Yep.
Easily.
Written by Randall Wallace.
No relation.
Actually, there is.
To William Wallace?
I think it's super distant, like a cousin or something.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just joking. I don't know.
No, I think there is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've watched the behind the scenes. It's been a hot minute since I watched those. I watched the movie and I didn't have time to.
You didn't have time to do the special features either?
Well, I will when I get home, but that's my time.
Oh, okay.
Directed by Mel Gibson, starring Mel Gibson, Patrick McGoohan, Angus McFadden, and Brendan Gleeson. I love Brendan Gleeson. Underrated. Ratings. You ready to get mad?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be pissed.
IMDb. IMDb scale. 1 to 10. With decimals for some reason. Where's Braveheart? For you, where is Braveheart?
9.7.
Oh, my word. High 9s.
Yes.
Okay. What about an 8.3?
What about you go fuck yourself?
Well, okay then. An aggressive response from the man, the myth, the angry Tevis. Yeah, IMDb 8.3.
That's some bullshit.
Well, you ready for bullshit? Scale 0 to 100%. Rotten Tomatoes. Where do you put Braveheart?
98%.
98%. Which is actually higher than you put on IMDb.
I know.
But whatever. You're giving it an extra point. Rotten Tomatoes. 76.
Are you kidding me?
76% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Like 7. 7.6.
7.6. 76, yes. Absolutely not.
The council has made a decision.
I recognize the council has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I've elected to ignore it.
How does Rotten Tomatoes come up with their score? Do they have their own reviewers? Is this a people who watch movies and they go on Rotten Tomatoes and submit their own reviews? I don't know how Rotten Tomato quantifies their score.
From what I understood, theirs is a collective of critics from all over.
Yeah.
But I don't know the criteria. I know there's some sort of criteria you have to have in order to be considered a critic to be on Rotten Tomato. But I don't know what that is. I don't know how extensive it is. Or if it's, hey, I've written one review on the toilet stall, so hey, can I be a fucking reviewer for your website?
Well, I'll tell you this right now. I have no desire ever to join this team of air quote critics who have the audacity to give 76% to Braveheart.
What? I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I don't even know you, but I hate you too. And I especially hate you.
Oh,
That's criminally low. Criminally low. Every single person in that review needs to be put on the rack.
Yeah. We should stretch them.
Yep.
Yep. Gonna reinstitute prima nocta on them. I'm just gonna show up on their wedding. I'll be like, "Hi,
Hey,
I'm gonna leave with the bride in the limo.
see you in the morning.
It's my noble right." All right. Budget made with an estimated 72 million, with a worldwide gross of 213.2. Awards.
Oh, yeah.
34 award wins, with another 34 nominations. Of those wins, 5 Oscar wins, including Best Makeup, Best Makeup, Best Effects, Sound Effects and Editing, Best Cinematography, Best Director, and Best Picture. The 1995 Best Picture got a 76 and an 8.3.
It should have won every award it was nominated for.
That's probably true.
Yes.
Reviews. Ebert,
Oh,
your man Ebes, 3 stars.
so he got his head out of his ass.
No, 3 stars.
I mean, considering what he gave Gladiator, I'm surprised it's 3 stars. I'm sure he was.
Hold on. Now I'm like, wait, what did he give 4 to? I know we got some 4 stars. Yeah, Groundhog Day got 4. The Fast and the Furious got 3. You're telling me The Fast and the Furious is just as good as Braveheart? I will spit in your face. I'll spit in your mother's face.
Camel! Watch out, they spit.
I'll spit in your daddy's mouth.
Gladiator got 2. Just absolute trash. Hold on. Beautiful Mind got 4. While you were sleeping got 3 stars. While you were sleeping and The Fast and the Furious and Braveheart. Those are 3 movies that everyone's like, oh
those
yeah,
they're the same level.
same level. Absolutely. Gremlins got 3 stars.
Absolute bangers.
What is this? Just absolute drivel. Drivel. Anywho, a full-throated, red-blooded battle epic.
And he got paid money.
No, why aren't we getting paid money?
It's a crime.
It's a crime against Mel Gibson, and I'm not standing for it. All right, variety. This one pissed me off, so I added it. Huge, bloody, and sprawling epic, Braveheart is the sort of vanity piece that would be easy to disparage if it didn't essentially deliver.
Vanity piece.
Presumably because Mel Gibson directs and is the lead.
Okay. He was the right person for the job.
Both jobs.
Yes. You can't look at this movie, what he accomplished, both behind the camera and in front of the camera, and be mad at that. It's what he did was phenomenal.
Yeah. It's absolute trash. Hey, Vanity. Or excuse me, Variety. Whatever your stupid publication is called. You've made an enemy for life.
This was Mel Gibson's second movie
Correct.
directing.
Yes.
You know what the first movie he did was?
Not off the top of my head.
The Man Without a Face.
Okay.
He was also the actor in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a vanity piece?
Maybe. We'll have to read Variety's views on it.
It wasn't a very good movie. I didn't particularly enjoy it, but have you ever seen it?
Not that one.
No, it's very much a small picture.
Yeah.
But to go from that to this, my God.
Yeah. But it essentially delivers.
Yeah, I wanted to just kind of glaze over that because whoever wrote that didn't watch the movie.
He spilled half their popcorn while taking notes and got real pissed and carried that grudge the rest of the way through.
They probably watched it on VHS, and he had to get up and eject the tape and then put the second tape in.
Wait, was Braveheart a 2-taper?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I didn't remember
And
that.
I know exactly where the cut was because I watched it so many damn times.
Well, hey, great segue. What was your history with Braveheart? Phenomenal segue.
This was one of those movies. I was in high school, and
Old.
old as shit. I think I was a senior when it came out. Anyway, doesn't matter. It was Mel Gibson, so I wanted to see it, but what it was, I was never really interested in the whole sword and sandal stuff that much.
So you're wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Oh, okay.
But I ended up watching it. I don't remember. I know I didn't go to the theater to see it. So it was a VHS rental. And man, I fell in love with this movie.
Yeah.
Everything. The acting, the visuals, the music. And it's been a staple of my collection ever since. And I have not watched this movie 12 years.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I don't know if I heard you right.
Yeah, it's been probably 12 years. Because I know I haven't watched it since my daughter's been born, and she's 10.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
I know.
Before I watched it for the show, it had been about 12 days
It's been about 12 minutes.
since I restarted it.
Yeah, so I was really thrilled when we pulled this out of the hat.
Out of the hat.
What's your history with this film?
Grew up with this film. I think this was my first Mel Gibson movie.
Really?
It was this and then Lethal Weapon. I love this movie, but I've always been, even as a kid, I love sword and sandal. I love history, mythology, fantasy. I love sword fights. I love, this was right up my alley all the way. And it's Mel Gibson. And I think this movie is why I love Mel Gibson.
I could see that.
This movie started me down the road, I should say.
And then Lethal Weapon just solidified it.
Director's cut, timestamp 6 minutes, 33 seconds. Don't worry, because everyone was waiting for it. I have more timestamps.
Oh yeah, I bet you do.
I have 3 timestamps that we'll talk about. But no, I love this movie. I absolutely love this movie. My parents love this movie. Everybody loves this. Everyone loves this movie, except Ebert and Douche Canoe at Variety.
Douche canoe. That's a word I haven't heard in quite some time.
Yeah, well, you're hearing it now. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I love this movie's opening. And a lot of movies have this kind of opening, and the vast majority of the time it works for me. This reminded me of The Shining in
Oh, yeah.
similar ways. We just get these beautiful, sweeping landscape shots of Scotland, and they're beautiful. And we've got the bagpipes playing, and it's great. Just what a great way to set the tone for the opening, as well as just get to show off a little bit of the beautiful landscapes that they're working in.
Yeah, when they have those shots and the music hits, oh my God. I can listen to this soundtrack on Spotify all the time. All day. I could listen to this. This is such great intro to a movie.
Now, they were using Irish bagpipes, not Scottish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the Scottish bagpipes have a little bit harsher sound.
Oh,
The Irish are a little more. The Irish bagpipes are a little more melodic, for lack of a better term. I'm sure that's not the right term. I'm not a music person.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
The extras.
Nice little facts.
The bonus features.
Yes.
And, we learn that Scottish nobles vying for independence for Scotland from England are invited to a meeting of truce from Longshanks. That didn't go well.
No, they got strung up.
They sure did.
Yeah.
as did everyone who was with them, including the children.
Yes.
So we see young William, with his dad and his brother. He's, even though he wasn't supposed to go, he sees this, so he's at a young age is seeing what the tyranny of England and the king and all of that, and the brutality of their subjugation.
Yeah, Longshanks is a brutal king.
Yeah. He is stone cold.
Damn. And yeah, we'll get into it later, but
And my next note here, beautiful score. As we get
absolutely.
back to ultimately the farmers decide to fight. So again, William's dad and brother go with the others to battle. William's watching the farm. They're ultimately cut down. And man, the score is so beautiful. And then the funeral scene, they're burying the dad and brother. You see young William there, more like holding it together. He just looks tired and he looks sad. He looks cried out, And young Morin gives him that flower.
Yeah, when she hands him the flower and then the music picks up
The
again.
music swells.
Oh my gosh, I get goosebumps.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done, Uncle Argyle shows up.
I love Uncle Argyle.
Uncle Argyle is a man with no chill. Have you noticed that?
I love him.
All right, well, we'll stay here in the night. In the morning, we leave. I don't want to leave. Yeah? Well, you didn't want your dad and brother to die either, but it happened, didn't it? I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn!
Yeah.
Uncle Argyle!
he looked like such a badass riding up on that horse with his eye all fucked up.
And his sword,
Oh,
and yeah.
Yeah, I love Brian Cox. Brian Cox is such a good actor.
Brian Cox is fantastic.
Yeah, that one of my small critiques of this movie is we didn't get more Brian Cox.
Yeah, but this movie's already 3 hours.
Yes, I understand that.
But you know what? Unlike several of the others we've looked at, it was a good 3 hours.
Very much. One of the quotes I use most of the time from this movie is from Uncle Argyle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where he says, "You don't speak Latin?" Because that's something we'll have to remedy, isn't it? I love the wordage that he uses.
Yeah, we'll have to remedy that.
So good.
So he takes William away, obviously, because William's family is dead. But he grows up into a handsome young man. Strong, handsome.
Should I break out the wet floor sign?
No, there's carpet underneath me. It's fine.
That's true.
My chair has cushions. You'll want to throw it away, though.
I'll burn it.
It won't burn.
I want to say one thing about the beginning of this movie that a lot of other movies that do it don't do it nearly as well, and it's when they show the character younger. The actor that they get usually isn't very good,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of detracts from the story. But man, every child actor that they had here was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it goes really quick too, it seems. They don't hang on it for too very long.
No, because honestly, had it gone any longer, it may start to bottom out a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
We got beautiful moments, we got sad moments, we got character building moments, and then we moved on.
Yes.
It didn't linger too long.
I agree.
But ultimately now, strong, handsome young man, William Wallace, comes back to his village, his clan. He makes the comment, because he and Uncle Argyle traveled the world, but he belongs here. And he takes up his old family homestead again, which has fallen into a little bit of disrepair, as we find out when it rains.
Yeah, the poor horse is just looking at him like, what are we going to do?
And he's looking at the horse like, sorry, man. I'm not any better.
So this is when he meets up at the festival, or the
wedding.
The wedding ceremony.
Wedding.
Yeah.
And this is after we get a snippet of Longshanks, and he reinstitutes prima nocta, or first night, where any nobleman is allowed to take a bride, people who live on their land, when two get married, he can take the bride and has sexual rights to her on the night of her wedding.
There's something that happens that I never really noticed before during this part where he is talking about what they're going to do. He's like, how are we going to take care of this? How are we going to get rid of these Scotsmen? And then he looks over at his son's bride,
His daughter-in-law,
and just holds her gaze for a while and is just kind of creeping on her.
Yeah.
And that's when he comes up with the idea to bring back Prima Nocta. And then he says that this should fetch the type of nobles that we want.
Wait, you've never noticed that before?
I know. Well, I mean, I noticed it.
Did you watch this movie? It's not a subtle moment.
I just never noticed how long he holds his gaze.
Oh,
on
yeah.
her. It's like, my God, dude, you're wanting her bad.
Yeah, but he's not the worst pervy old man in this movie.
Oh, no. What was his name? We'll get there.
Smythe.
Yes, Smythe. Ugh.
So Wallace returns and the wedding celebration's going on. And he shows up and all of a sudden he's kind of swept up in the dancing and the music. And then his old childhood friend,
Hamish
shows up and just drops a big rock at his feet.
You dropped a rock.
Phenomenal accent, by the way.
Thanks.
I think the Charlie Sheen Award for Best Accent goes to our very own Tevis.
Yes. I've always wanted an award.
Yes.
I would just like to thank my mom, who taught me everything I know about the Scottish accent.
What?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we were going somewhere.
No, I'm just kidding.
You dropped your rock.
Yeah.
And he's like, the soldiers don't let us train with weapons, so we train with stones. Okay, I don't give a shit.
He's like, oh, yeah.
I'm trying to meet up with this hot babe over here. Do you mind? And so they get into a stone throwing competition as a test of soldiery. Also, okay, before that, hold on. When he's like, well, test of soldiery isn't here in your arm, it's here, pointing to his head. It's about your intelligence, your wits, your cunning. And Hamish goes, no, it's here. And he points, and then he just lays William out and drops him, just hooks him in the head and just drops him. And I like how William looks up and goes, Hamish? And Brendan Gleeson winks at him. And that tells you everything you need to know about because we see it, because Hamish would punch him all the time as kids, too.
Yeah, punched him and knocked him down the hill.
And they wrestled and had a good time. And so now as adults, nothing has changed. And man, Brendan Gleeson is a big dude.
He is a monster.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, but he's phenomenal.
So they do the rock throwing competition. Obviously, mountain of a man, Hamish outthrows Mel Gibson. And so he's like, that's when Mel's like, well, could you do that in battle?
Yeah,
could you kill someone with
you do that when it mattered?
Yeah. And so that's when he goes out into the field and picks up a small rock, but he's waiting. Hamish throws, but he misses. And then William takes aim and pegs him between the eyes with that stone he picked up. And he's like, are you all right? You should have moved. You look a little uneven. And then Hamish falls
on his ass.
I should have remembered the rocks.
We talk about levity a lot.
Yeah.
This movie has a lot of it.
And it's good.
And it's never forced. It's just the characters are with people they love and care about, and they goof on them sometimes. They say stuff to them sometimes, and it's all good.
It's obviously well written. It's well directed. It's unbelievably well acted. But I think more important than any of that is it's believable.
It is.
We know these characters. We like these characters. We believe their chemistry together because it's good. And then the things they do and say to each other it's funny and it's believable. And the levity works. Yes. But as the celebration continues, the local English lord shows up and takes the bride. And I do want to take a minute. I don't have her name written down. I should have. The actress who plays the wife during this scene, several, like the husband, obviously, and several of the other men are like, you're not taking her, weapons are drawn. The English have like a knife to the husband's throat. It's about to get bad. And then all the sound cuts out except the score. And it's a sad yet beautiful tune going as she almost, it's almost like she's gliding. It's almost like this otherworldly, mystical, fae kind of.
It is very magical.
Yeah.
Almost.
And everyone she touches immediately calms down. English or Scottish, doesn't matter. There's the one soldier holding the guy, and she puts her hand on his shoulder, and he looks at her, and he chills out, and the guy he's holding chills out, and she kind of sweeps across the screen. And again, it's like she's not walking. She glides. She sweeps across. And she places her hands on the blade of the dagger and pulls it away from her husband's throat. And the soldier holding it like relaxes and relents and lets her. And, he's just holding it no longer in a threatening way. He's just holding the dagger now. And she goes to her husband and she's like, I'll be okay. I love you. You see her mouthing the words. Yeah. It's okay. I'll be okay. I love you. They kiss and she just kind of glides on. And it's this sad, weirdly magical, like, I don't know how to describe it.
It works.
Oh, it works
really well. But yeah, with the score and the way she's moving and just like she almost has everybody in a trance.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
It really is. And then they assist her up onto the Lord's horse and they ride off.
There's a few moments in this movie similar to this where I'm like, who thought of that idea to cut all the sound, just put the score, have her move her hands that way and, affect the soldiers that way. And like, was it the writer? Was it the director? Was
it a team?
Was it just, you guys made the right damn decision.
Oh, it's haunting. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's so good. So good.
Because it could have been just easily like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll go with you. And then be a forgotten moment, but they make this a very memorable moment.
Yeah. Now, we're going to try to speed along some of this. And as we come to moments we want to talk about for various reasons, we can. Right. But this is a 3-hour movie. We don't have 5 hours to talk about it. So they go, but William ultimately meets and starts to court Morin. But they do it in secret. Then they even get married in secret as William... as he's talking to the French princess, now English princess, we married in secret because I would not share her with another man. And we see their relationship, and it's so pure and honest.
Yeah, I would say that.
It's young love. It's touching and it's heartfelt, but it's a little reckless. It's a little, because her parents don't know. They're not okay with it. They have never given their permission or their blessing. He just steals her away at night and they spend what time together that they can. And, so it's got that recklessness, that brashness of young love, but it also has that honesty to it. That I think plays well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And when they get married and they have their moment together, it almost kind of plays the same way, the magical...
Yeah, it does. Especially for me.
Yeah.
So
for different reasons.
At timestamp 38:25, this is the part I like to pause it. And I get a piece of cardboard and I cover up the left side of my television. And then I take my shirt off and I go up and I stand in front of the TV and I turn my back to Mel. And I tell Anna to get the Braveheart bottle. She comes and she's like, I don't want to get the Braveheart bottle. I'm like, get the Braveheart bottle, woman. And she comes and she spritzes me down.
And then you yell at her because that's not the Braveheart bottle. That's the Lethal Weapon bottle.
There is no Lethal Weapon bottle. There's only the Braveheart bottle. She spritzes me down, and I just stand with my back to Mel. I close my eyes, and I can imagine his breath on the back of my neck as he takes me in his strong arms and turns me around, and we face each other.
You've ruined that scene for me.
It's so magical. The score is playing, and you can see Mel and I's breath in the cold, in the dewy night, and it's very magical as we just stare into each other's eyes, Mel and I.
So do you make your wife put on the fan so it kind of blows on you a little bit so your hair is kind of blowing in the wind?
Well, I don't have hair to blow. Like, I don't have enough hair to blow in the wind. I don't worry about that. I can imagine that.
Okay.
I just picture Mel just taking me and holding me. We hug, and he's running his fingers down my spine and plays with my hair, and then we just take it to the ground, and we consummate our love.
Okay. That's
And something happens I don't know what happens in the movie.
yeah. What's the rest of the movie happen? Did you just rewind that part?
That tape is worn out. Real thin, doesn't play super well anymore.
I understand that. I understand.
Spritz me down, woman.
No back talk. Get the spraying.
Hey, we took vows, and some of those vows are to not question.
Said for better or worse. I understand this is the worst, but do it.
I got my Mel chills. So, but no, they get married. It's in secret, but they're in town. But Morin also has attracted the attention of one of the local soldiers, a particularly disturbing old man named Smythe. Now, the line, "You remind me of my daughter back home," apparently he improv that.
Yes,
and
I'd
it
heard
struck
that.
everyone just like, and they kept it in because,
Yeah, not only what he does is being disgusting, but with that added on to it, oh my God.
Oh, it's a whole nother level.
Whole nother level.
Of awful. But she tries to escape. Smythe and a couple other guards circle her. They throw her into a house, and Smythe gets on top of her. He plans on obviously taking her.
Yes.
Apparently, Smythe is a face licker, and I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that.
My God. New guy's in the corner puking his guts out.
Sorry.
Doing all right, boss?
Yeah. You pass me the trash can. Oh, so gross.
She's trying to fight back, but is unable to. You know who can fight back?
Oh, yeah.
Her very angry lion of a husband.
Yeah, he comes in with a vengeance.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, okay. I see what you're right.
But he does come in and just kick ass. And then he gets her, and they go, but they're trying to be inconspicuous. But Smythe is like, stop them, alerts all the guards. And Mel is trying to take their attention. William's trying to get their attention.
Yeah.
While Morin rides away. Makes me just, it's brutal. It gets me every time when that soldier with the spear cracks Morin in the mouth to knock her off the horse.
Yeah.
He swings it like an oversized baseball bat and just catches her in the mouth with the shaft of the spear, and she just flips backwards off the horse. I'm just like, oh my God.
And she hits the ground hard.
Yeah, she gets hit in the face hard. She definitely lost some teeth. But no, but they capture Morin, and William, not realizing this, gets away, and ultimately, to get to William, they execute Morin. Now William comes up with a vengeance.
When they put her to the post, when they tie her to the post, the way she's looking around, thinking maybe
Don't.
What?
Don't.
She's like, maybe he'll be there.
She is scanning the horizon, looking for William to save her. It's so emotional, and it's so devastating. He's not there. The White Knight doesn't ride in and save the day.
Yeah, because he doesn't know.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know she got captured.
No. And then when the Lord says an attack on the king's guards is an attack on the king himself, she looks at Smythe and he looks at her and he has a look on his face like he knows
This is his fault.
this is his fault. And when the Lord takes the knife to her throat, they don't show it.
No.
They just show her face and the life draining out of her. But they cut to Smythe, and during the slice, he has to close his eyes.
Yeah, he looks away and closes his eyes. Yeah.
All of that section is so well done.
So well done.
They could
It's
have
amazing.
done the grotesque route with showing the throat cut, but it works better when they do show it
See,
on
and
the Lord.
not wanting to go entirely scene for scene, trying to keep this under 5 hours. So we're kind of talking about it. They don't show the throat cut with Morin, and that is so smart. We see enough. We see the local magistrate physically move like he's cutting her throat. Then it cuts to just her head. You cannot see below her chin. So it's just her face. We see her reactions. Then we see from behind her as her head lifelessly slumps down. And that's enough.
Yes.
Because we as an audience like Morin. We don't want to see Morin's throat cut.
No.
But after Wallace comes back and does the big battle, which we'll talk about here in a second, and he takes him to the post, holds his head back, puts the dagger to the magistrate's throat. And I love how the magistrate gets this brief look on his face like, how dare you? Like, really? Wait a minute. Like this never crossed his mind that this could occur. And then, but we see his throat get cut. We see the guy who killed Morin's throat get cut. Because his is the throat we want to see cut.
Absolutely.
So we still get the gruesomeness and the brutality of seeing a cut throat. But they were so smart. A, we don't see it twice. That's too much. And they made sure to show it on the right character.
I 100% agree.
So it's so from a filmmaking perspective, so smart how they did it. Because it's like, well, they didn't show any throat cuts. That's, but it's like, this is a bloody battle epic kind of a movie. We're going to see that kind of stuff. So they wanted to show a throat cut. So knowing that audience will want to see one, make it the right one.
Yeah, and this battle that he goes through when he arrives to basically find where his wife's at.
Yeah.
This kicks off the violence.
Oh, yeah.
Because
there's no going back after this.
No. I mean, he cuts the leg off that one guard and then takes the antler from that into the throat of the other guy. Oh, my God, that was so brutal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He rides into town. He knows Morin's dead. He's figured that out. And now this is his life. His survival does not matter. This is about getting his pound of flesh and the ensuing chaos. But I want to talk about specifically the ride-up, because we talked about how beautiful the scene was of the bride as she kind of glides through the scene, calming everything down. Very magic, very majestic. William Wallace rides into town on his horse, and we only hear three things: the amazing score, the horse, it's breathing and it's clomping through the mud, and the clinking and clanking of the armor of the guards. But we see him ride up, we hear the horse, the music's dun-dun, super intense, and the look on Mel Gibson's face, the look on William Wallace's face is pure intensity, but not like comically so, not overdone so. It's a tense face, but the eyes are piercing and burning all at the same time. And we see him coming around the little switchback road, and he comes into town, and at one point the camera cuts, and we see the heat waves and the smoke of a campfire from like a cook fire from town, and it distorts him in a way, that just, it's the epitome of it's on.
It's like death is riding in.
100%.
The Grim Reaper is coming, and the Grim Reaper doesn't give a shit about his life. He is coming for whoever he can get.
For anyone that is within reach
Yes.
is done. But the way it's shot, the way it's scored, the way they edit out all the other noise, you know what I mean?
And it's kind of slow motion too.
They take their time.
Yeah.
Because not only is it intense and not only is it an epic shot, but it perfectly builds for the audience of, oh shit, this is a powder keg and it's about to go.
Yeah.
And then it builds and it builds and it builds. And just when you're at the point of like anticipation, you can't take anymore. He comes with that club and he clubs the one guy and then his horse gets stabbed. He falls off. He stabs that guy in the throat with the antler. And it built and it built. And then when it explodes at the right time, and it never slows down. In that the movie has its ebbs and flows and its peaks and valleys, but in that moment, it's just on.
Yeah. And then all the townsfolk are like, hey, let's fucking help.
And in the greater story, William's violent defiance is the spark that ignites the rebellion.
I only want to talk about one specific shot of this moment, and then we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I like it so much. And I don't know why they did it, but he's riding up, and then you just see kind of the horse's part of the horse's face, and then the reins, and then you see that soldier's hand come up and grab the reins. I don't understand why they did it, but man, it's such a cool little moment to like help build. Like, okay, now the guards actually have a hold of the horse. Now what is he gonna do? It's not like he could quickly ride away or something in that nature, but
there's no escape.
Yeah.
I think you've answered your own question.
Well, I think I did, but at the same time I'm like, I don't know why they did it other than that, but I'm so glad they did. Because it just builds that tension up even more.
Yeah, you see the horse's nose, you see the reins, you see its breath, you hear the clanking of the armor as it grabs the reins.
It just adds that one little more piece of the detail that we need.
It's like they got him. Like the horse is, it's on.
And that's another one of those moments where I'm like, whose idea was that to have that one specific shot?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know.
Well, you would think the director. Is that not the director's job?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, was it written that way?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah. I've not seen the script of Braveheart.
No,
so
I have
don't
not
know.
Either.
But, so battle ensues. Local clans start flocking to Wallace. It's on. Like, he has given everyone. He has started the fire. And now everyone's coming, stoking those flames, wanting to be a part of it. Enough is enough. And some of the local Scottish lords are preparing for battle against the English. But they have no intention on fighting. They're just going to go negotiate a deal and leave.
Yeah. Get more land, get more money.
But the soldiers, I love those two soldiers that are talking. We're just like, there's so many of them. Yep. Well, all right, lads. I didn't come here to die for these bastards. Let's go home. Yeah. But so they're leaving, but that's when Wallace and his huge band at this point, arrive. And it's the iconic blue woad face paint on. They look
so cool.
Epic. If you watch the movie with commentary, it's Mel Gibson doing the commentary. And he talks about how they gave him a really energetic horse for this part, which is why it rears and it's fidgety and feisty and it's moving around, and he loved it. He was like, an energetic horse to give even more life to the scene. Like, he loved it.
Yeah.
But, they're talking, he gives the big, speech. If this is Scotland's armies, why does it flee? No, we're going to run because we don't want to die. And I'm like, yeah, you may die. Run, you'll live a while. And he gives the big heroic Braveheart speech. And then they go out to talk to the lords. William goes, and they're like, where are you going? To pick a fight.
Yeah, I love that. It's so good.
But he goads the English into a fight and then leads the Scottish to their first victory, which no one thought was even possible. And so now this leads to William Wallace being recognized all throughout Scotland as a hero. He's knighted for it. But now the English, the Scottish, everyone knows now this is serious. The Scottish won a battle. And this isn't just an insurrection. This isn't just a few rebels or a few bandits even that need to be put down or corrected. This is civil war.
And so then this is where the king sends the princess to negotiate with Wallace, correct?
No,
No?
we're not there yet.
Not there yet, okay.
Because that's after he sacks York.
Oh, that's right.
We've got a
That's
couple
right.
battles before
That's right.
then. But we were talking about levity and genuine, what feels like genuine moments, and it's funny and it's believable. So they're getting ready for the first battle we just talked about. They're trying to think of how to defeat heavy cavalry. Because they're talking about how in what?
They're at the camp.
In X amount of hundreds of years, no one has ever stood a charge from heavy horse.
Right.
And William gets the idea, we'll make giant spears. So when they charge in, we spear them. And he's like, we'll make spears, hundreds of them, twice as long as a man. That long? Aye, that long. Well, some men are longer than others. Oh, your mother's been telling stories about me again, right? It's William, it's Hamish's dad. It's the husband from the wedding. It's someone else. But it's just like the inner circle of Wallace's group. Now just talking about dicks. And I joked with this to Anna. I said, because you guys, her, when we get together with friends or whatever, her and other female friends, they don't get it. And there's really no way to describe it, but it's true. You get any collection of guys together, 2 or more, at some point, the conversation will end up on penises. That is a guaranteed fact. Where 2 or more men gather, penises are talked about.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I know I'm not wrong. I'm a guy.
We had that conversation earlier today because of the whole gray sweatpants.
Gray sweatpants. and gray sweatpants bulges. It happened during dinner.
Yeah.
We weren't even recording and it happened. Where you have 2 or more guys, you have dick conversation. Just the way and women don't understand it and they never will.
And I don't understand why it happens either, but yeah, dicks always come up.
Dicks come up. It's just part of our nature, I guess. Talk about penis. So, but what a great moment of levity, like when Hamish is like, well, some men are longer than others. And then it's his dad going, oh, your mother's telling stories about me again. And everyone like, what a great moment. Like that levity works. Yeah. Does it not? Like, what a great moment.
It does.
Oh, historically, in that battle, William Wallace kills and beheads that commander, that English commander. Do you know what happens historically? And it's written, there's written documentation on it.
No.
What happens after that? William Wallace takes that commander's body, skins it, and makes a belt that he wears pretty much until he's captured.
I think I did hear that somewhere.
Yeah.
Man, why was that not in the movie?
Probably because it would make it really hard for us to root for the guy that's skinning people.
Yeah, it would be kind of hard to cheer on the guy who has the man belt.
I'm watching Braveheart, not Bone Tomahawk.
Oh, such a good Kurt Russell movie.
That movie, no.
Oh, I love it.
It's too over the top. We're not talking about Bone Tomahawk.
Ugh. If you have a chance to watch Bone Tomahawk.
No, that is a gross out vomit fest.
I love it.
But that first battle, the Scottish are gearing up. Timestamp 1 hour, 23 minutes, 56 seconds. You will see all the Scottish men raise their kilts and flash their dangs and wave their dangs around at the English. Then the English shoot, they launch some arrows. They fire some arrows. Not fire, you shoot some arrows. You don't fire arrows. There's no fire involved in the process of archery. You shoot some arrows. They block them. And then at timestamp 1 hour, 24 minutes and 51 seconds, that's when they all turn around and bare their bottoms. And it's just a battlefield of shaking tookuses.
Yeah, and they fire shoot some more arrows, and one gentleman didn't get his behind covered.
He was not reading the room when everyone took cover with their shields and takes one. You know what, though? Probably survived that.
Yeah.
He's not going to sit down for a little bit, but he does. I imagine he would survive that. Although that was a longbow, so it might have gone. I don't know. There's a chance he survived.
We'll say he does.
We'll say butt cheek guy survives.
Yeah, because if Hamish's father, and I can't remember his name in the movie,
I don't either.
But if he survived all the injuries that he got, because he gets injured in every single battle.
Every battle he's in, he's injured. So in the opening battle where Wallace is getting revenge for the death of Morin, Hamish's dad gets shot with an arrow.
Right.
In this opening battle, he gets his hand cut off.
Oh.
Then in the next battle, he takes the fatal axe wound to the stomach and dies later. Like every battle he's in, he just gets maimed in some way. Tough old bastard.
Yes, he was.
You know what? Moment of levity. He gets shot with the arrow. They're getting the arrow out. They got it removed, but now they have to cauterize the wound. So they got the red hot poker. They've doused the wound in whiskey. He's drinking it. And he's like, "What are you waiting for, boy? Get it over with." And Brendan Gleeson's got it. He's like, "Here, you do it. I'll hold him down." He runs over. And then the husband from the opening wedding ceremony, he's like, looks and he's like, "Here, you do it. I'll hold him down." So it's like a bunch of guys holding him
They're
down.
not dumb. They know.
So they cauterize the wound, to which then they're like, hold him now. And they all let go, and the old man gets up, and the guy's like, I'm sorry. And he just, and Hamish's dad knocks the guy with the poker out. And he's like, "Ooh, that'll wake you up in the morning, boys." Again, what a great moment. And it works. It's funny.
He's such a good character.
He really
He's
is.
Such a good actor.
He's just an old hard ass.
I mean, he takes that arrow to the chest, and then still like lifts up the door.
Yeah, he hulks up that gate.
Yeah, and holds it there for everybody else to come in and kick ass. Like, yes, what a badass. I do have an award to give away once we get there.
Oh,
yes.
Well, we're just kind of jumping around. Where are we?
We're at the Battle of Falkirk.
The one William and company lose.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to give the McCready Award to that helmet William Wallace is wearing at the beginning of that battle. That helmet was terrible.
The one that's just kind of like the leather dome?
The leather dome. I'm like, no, you should have just went without it.
Wait, you think that's the worst?
That's the worst one. It's not the worst one in the movie. It's just that he's wearing it when he looks like such a badass in every other battle. And then he comes out in this dorky looking dunce helmet. I'm like,
no, the dunce helmet, and the true deserved recipient of the McCready's Best Hat Award is the commander that William Wallace beheads at Stirling. Because it's got that, it's like, it goes over his whole head. It just has like a face cut out. So there's an oval for his face. The helmet covers the rest into some kind of neck armor. But it goes up into this weird dome at the top. He looks like a cone head.
Yeah, he does kind of look like
that. That guy's hat is way worse.
It is way worse. But with it being from, you look like such a badass and everything else. And then, what the hell? What is this?
Well, only an idiot would go into battle without a helmet.
He did it in the first one.
He didn't have one then. They were ill-supplied.
He should have still been ill-supplied.
No, they sacked a bunch of things. They had already sacked York at that time.
Well, he should have grabbed a different hat. He should have grabbed McCready's hat from the thing.
It would have blocked more arrows.
He would have saved all four people around him.
Yeah. Him, Hamish, Stephen, all safe. Okay, can we talk about... Okay. We've got Mel Gibson as William Wallace. He's our main character. He's great. We talked about Morin. She's great. We've touched on it a little bit. Let's go over who, in my mind, are the four lieutenants of William Wallace. You have Hamish. You have Hamish's dad.
Right.
You have the husband from the wedding, played by Tommy Flanagan.
Right.
and this was his first ever movie. They found him in a bar.
Oh, really?
And he had the Irish smile and all that.
Yeah.
Which is real. Like, those are his scars. They thought he looked great, invited him to the movie. Come to find out, he could act. And it was all a happy coincidence.
That's cool.
So that started him. But then we have Stephen, the Irishman.
I love Stephen.
Everyone loves Stephen.
Stephen is great.
Father, it can't be. This can't be William Wallace. I am prettier than this man.
David O'Hare. Or David O'Hara.
David O'Hara. Is your father dead, or do you converse with the Almighty himself? What's he say?
To find his equal, an Irishman is forced to talk to God.
And the Almighty says, stop changing the subject, just answer the fucking question. Insane Irish, and that's when he pulls the dagger, and he's like, smart enough to get a dagger past your guards, old man. Hey, Irishman, he's my friend. And the answer to your question is yes. You fight for me, you get to kill the English. Excellent! Stephen is my name, and I am the most wanted man on my island. But we're not on my island. Your island. You mean Ireland? Oi, it's moine.
Yeah, he's so great.
Like, you've got just the old badass and Hamish's dad. You have Hamish, who's actually, he gets some funny one-liners, like some men are longer than others, or royal escort of the princess. You must have made quite an impression. Yeah. I didn't think you were in the tent that long. Like, he gets, he's that friend. And then you have over the top, insane as balls Stephen. They're blocking the arrows at Sterling, and the arrowhead pierces through the seam in William's shield, and it pokes out. I don't know. Stephen's right there looking at him, and he's like, the Lord tells me he can get me through this, but he's pretty sure you're fucked. My buddies and I do the Stephen laugh to each other all the time when we just say something stupid or ridiculous, and everyone's just looking at you. They just go, Stephen's the best.
Yeah, he is by far my favorite character.
So now we have a badass main character in William Wallace, who is everything like a Beowulf or a Gilgamesh or an Achilles. He is this quintessential badass hero of a historical or mythological epic, right? But he's made human with these moments of levity and these moments of just life by his friends, who are acted equally as brilliantly, and give just their presence and their interactions with William take him from larger than life figure to real person.
Even when this movie is over, I still want to see what continues with those characters that remain, Hamish and Stephen. I'm like, I could watch another movie of these guys.
And you know what? At the very end, William's dead. They're getting Robert the Bruce has been named king, but only so that he essentially can just transfer all control and title to England. And who's standing there still together, side by side in the front line? It's Hamish and Stephen. Despite it all, William's gone. Hamish's dad is gone. The war is over. But they're still together.
Yeah, I think even Tommy Flanagan's gone too. Yeah.
Yeah, because Tommy Flanagan dies at Falkirk too.
Yeah.
He gets hit with arrows.
Yeah, a lot of them do. I think a majority of them get wiped out.
Because what they had was friendship.
Yeah.
Right?
And it felt real.
It felt real.
Yeah.
And when William is being executed, and he's being tortured and executed publicly, and they're in the crowd in disguise with their hoods up, so it's not obvious. Not only are Hamish and Stephen there, they're there together, which speaks to their friendship, but they're also there for William, because William sees him at one point.
Yeah, he looks over at him.
And they're there for their friend. They're there for their brother. And granted, there's nothing they can do, but they're still going to be there for him in his last moments. And he sees them. They see that, you know what I mean? They make eyes. And so at least they know that William knew before he died, despite the personal danger, they came to London to be there for him in his last moments. Man, that's friendship. That's brotherhood. And it's so believable. It's so real. And like you said, it's over. William's dead. And you see Hamish and Stephen standing there, and you want the story. You want to see more about their story. You want to hear more. You want to know more.
Yeah, if they were to announce Braveheart 2 and be like, we're continuing Hamish and Stephen, their journey, like, fuck, sign me up.
Their journey following Robert the Bruce.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd be like, sign me up. I'll watch it.
I'd watch that. Yeah, just because. And obviously you'd have to recast.
Yeah.
But I mean,
even if they had done it, years ago in like 98.
Yeah, but if they were to do it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, even then.
You'd have to recast, obviously. But if it was Braveheart 2, and you had two actors come in that had the same chemistry and were playing the same characters the same way, they could make it their own. You know what I mean? But they do it. They still portray the characters we know. I would want to know that. I would want to watch that.
Still cast those two actors, but they're sitting together just chit-chatting about the past.
Yeah.
And you have flashbacks.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, please, give me that.
Please.
The part that really kicks my ass, and you kind of touched on it, where Hamish and Stephen are in the crowd, and they're watching him, and he's getting brutalized, and just because he won't ask for mercy. And then both of them, Hamish says it first. He's like, just, my God, William, just say it.
Mercy, William.
And then Stephen does the same thing. Oh my God, every time that comes up, I get goosebumps.
And look, I was really paying attention to their faces, because that's really all you can see. They've got the big cloaks on and their hoods. But look at their faces. The acting is so phenomenal. Stephen is watching. His eyes are squinted, but he's watching. He doesn't like what he's seeing. But you see the way he's taking it, and I don't think this is the first time he's witnessed something to this extent, because he's taking it. But then you look at Hamish. He's pale. His eyes are distant, like he's having trouble focusing. He's having trouble watching. He looks like he's going to throw up. They are each acting out, watching this torture and execution in two entirely different ways, which speaks to them. It speaks to the directing. But it's also so true to their characters, I feel like, too. Stephen is this crazy madman who probably has witnessed some pretty hellacious shit in his time.
Yeah, he's probably done a lot of hellacious shit in his time.
And then you've got Hamish, who's this big, monstrous, scary grizzly bear on the battlefield with his axe, cutting people in half. But watching his friend get tortured is too much. It's different. This kind of violence is different than what's on the battlefield, and he can't really take it. We've talked about obviously the first one that I would go to is Avatar for length. Similar length, 3-hour movie. Last Voyage of the Demeter is a good one too. But we have these movies that are longer and that are just stocked full of characters that I do not know or give any care about. Then you have Braveheart, that hits you with a lot of characters. Many of them I don't know their names. Like Tommy Flanagan's character. Don't know that guy's name. But I like him.
Yeah.
And when he dies, it's sad. It's not heartbreaking like when Hamish's dad or William die, but it's still sad. I still cared about this character. I don't know this character's name. You get what I'm saying? And there's the Scottish side, there's the English cast of characters, Longshanks, his son's military council, Philip. There's the princess whose name I forget. There's there's the princess's handmaiden. She's funny.
Yes, I like her.
I like right there.
Yeah,
she's a minor character. What's her name? I'll give you $100 if you can tell me her name.
Hang on.
Yeah, exactly. You bastard. Exactly. Don't know her name,
No.
but it doesn't matter. I know who she is. She's a recognizable character, despite her small role, her limited role. But I like her. When she delivers the message that the princess wants to speak to William again, and her and Hamish just start making eyes at each other.
Yeah.
Hamish liked what he saw, and you know what? I think she liked what she was seeing.
I think
this
so, too.
Big manly warrior, this huge brute of a man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny though, and it's funny for both characters, and it works like with the handmaiden and Hamish.
And it didn't need to be there. It's not like they had to put that in there to further the story. It's just a small little detail.
It's a brief moment of levity
and builds character
that works, and it's character building that works. We have a 3-hour movie loaded with characters of varying importance, but we meet them all.
Yeah.
And I have an opinion, and for lack of a better term, a relationship with each character, good or bad. But I can't think of a single character with any degree of prominence that I am apathetic about.
Oh. No, I'm trying to run down the cast in my head.
Yeah, try.
No. I got nothing.
And that is a testament to the writing, the directing, and the acting. Even with its length, and even with the immense cast of characters. Because when you start to thinking about William, his family, his friends, who go on to become his brothers, the Scottish nobles, and Robert the Bruce's father. Then you've got the English court with Longshanks, his son, Philip, the princess, the handmaiden, the magistrate, the who does the torturing. Kiss the royal emblem on my cloak.
Yeah.
And whether it's the local lord of the magistrate that did prima nocta and cut Morin's throat. You've got Morin herself. You got the two side characters that survived to the end. They're there with Hamish and Stephen.
Oh
and
yeah,
Robert
they
the
are,
Bruce,
aren't they?
Who had their funny little conversation. The farmers, they're still there. Like, it's cool and it's funny, and you like these characters or you hate these characters depending on who it is. There's no character given, again, what I'm considering prominent screen time that I'm apathetic about. They're all done so well. There's a right way and a wrong way to do characters. This isn't Avatar where we were given a bajillion characters, but we never got any time with them. And the time we did get was meaningless. We only see those farmers that one scene as they joke with each other, and then Wallace gives his speech. Then we don't really see them again until we see them again at the very end. And then you go, oh shit, look who's the, you know, and that's kind of what it is. You're like, oh man, look who lived. There they are. Awesome.
They're still there.
They're still there.
They're still fighting.
You're happy to see them in a way because you're like, they were funny.
Yeah. And it just shows that how much respect they had for William Wallace. Like, because they didn't want to fight at all.
No.
And then he ends up inspiring them. And then they continue to fight long after he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I love that.
How long have we been?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll edit this out, but.
Yeah, I'll edit. Oh, shit. Okay. Hour 10.
Okay, we're doing all right.
Only thing I saw was the 10. I was like, what? We've only been going for 10 minutes? There ain't no fucking way.
There's no fucking way. Okay. So I do want to talk about Robert the Bruce and his dad.
Okay.
Robert the 16th.
The leper.
The leper.
Yeah.
I feel like they have so many good moments.
They have good interactions.
They have great interactions.
I love their And I fucking hate the dad.
And you're supposed to.
Yeah.
It builds up where you're like, this guy's he's cunning and he's got some good lines. He's wise. Okay. And then you're like, well, I don't know if I agree with that. Seems, well, now wait a minute. Oh, you motherfucker. Right. It builds.
Yeah.
And so by the end, the last time you see him, we as the audience pretty much feel the exact same way about him that Robert does.
I like how from the first time we ever see him to the very last, he gets worse and worse as far as his plan and more of a to betray Wallace, but he also becomes more rotten.
Yeah.
I love at the end, the last time we see him, he's all wrapped up in bandages, and Robert the Bruce says, what's he say?
We're talking about the final line.
Yeah,
my hate dies with you.
That was such a good
and
line.
then closes the door.
This closes the door, and that's the last time we ever see him.
So, because the first time we see them, they are very much a positive father-son relationship, as he is grooming his son to be the King of Scotland and giving advice. And because he's like, okay, you play up Wallace and the Scottish nobles and support the rebellion. That will build your support with the locals. I, on behalf of the family, will condemn it in the South, in London, and with the crown, and build our support there. They are very much waging their own little politics war to ensure that the crown goes to Robert. And we see that continue and continue, but we also see Robert is taken up, or he's taken with the heroics, and he's taken up with the courage and the message that William is spreading. He doesn't want to be this politicking, backstabbing, guy on the sidelines. He wants to take up his sword and charge with William. He wants to lead. But his father keeps saying, no, that will get you killed. That's not what this is about. We play it smart. And Robert's like, it's not, the time for that is over. He's like, nope, not yet. And the father keeps not manipulating, but
he's trying to play some political games.
Right, but I don't think he's trying to play games with his son.
I think he's not trying to play games with his son. He's trying to teach his son how to.
He's teaching his son the game.
Yes,
but he's not playing games with his son.
No, he is definitely teaching the game of politics.
Yeah, teaching how to work the court.
Yes,
But at the end of the day, that's not what Robert. Not because he's done it his whole life. He's doing it now, but he doesn't. He believes in this cause. He believes in William Wallace. He wants to do it. But just such great moments. But then through himself, Robert the 16th teaches his son the final lesson to be king. And now you know what it means to hate. Now you're ready to be a king. And then that's when Robert's, my hate dies with you. Closes the door. So many great moments, but great interaction and great characterization for both characters. So we get why Robert doesn't just shake hands with William and raise the troops and charge into battle. Like he's not playing the war game. He's playing a politics game. He's playing a political game, And then by the time Robert mans up and grows up enough to wage war, to fight the fight, for William, it's too late.
Too late, yeah. And it still gets me. But when William goes to meet Robert the last time,
the trap,
and every single time I've ever watched it, I'm like, God damn it! Like I thought it was going to be different somehow.
Like when Morin gets killed, every time I'm like, it's going to be different this time.
Yeah, she's going to get away. Oh no, the damn.
It's not
spear.
It's not a trap.
Yeah.
William's going to go talk to Robert and they're going to unite and free Scotland. It's not a trap. And then it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Like it's a trap the 400 previous times I've watched Braveheart.
Yeah. But when and I can't remember the guy's name, but when he goes with the hood on his head to talk to William,
Mhm.
and he gives William that piece of cloth from that
was essentially his wedding ring from Morin.
Right.
I don't know culturally what that is, but for us in a modern Western symbolism standpoint, that's what that is.
yeah, because she had one, and
Yeah,
that-
he gave her one,
he-
she gave him one.
Yes. So, and when he hands that to William as a sign of solidarity,
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, okay.
Peace offering.
Yeah. I'm like,
Please don't ride into my bedchamber and murder me.
oh God, I love that part. Mornay? Yes. I thought
No.
Yes, it was Mornay.
That's right. Lachlan is the one that gets his throat cut and he falls
falls
onto the
onto the
banquet table.
But I love Mornay so much just because of the editing. He's dreaming, he's laying in his bed, he's dreaming, and here comes this
Demonic.
demonic. Yeah, he's got that look on his face and his mouth's open,
And
and you
he's
hear
just
that.
like growling.
And he wakes up in a cold sweat. He's like, holy shit. Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm in my bed. I'm good. And then his doors burst open, and here he comes on horseback
With a big flail.
and rides that horse up onto the bed. But he drops that ball, and it's all slow motion. And then
Clank.
you get the chain sound again, and then he swings that son of a bitch, and it goes from Mornay the actor to that when that ball hits, the editing is so precise, the cut is so precise to when that ball hits. Obviously it's a mannequin dummy or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a brutal shot.
I think an eye comes out. Like, it's real quick, but I'm pretty sure an
it's
eye comes
so
out.
good
Yeah.
every time. And that's something else with this movie. This is what, 95?
95.
So 30 years old. No. Yes. Almost, yeah, okay. There is not anything noticeable about the special effects that falter, that don't live up to the age.
But I do think that also helps that this is not a special effects heavy movie.
No, there's a lot of brutality. There's one in particular that I spotted that still kind of bothers me. It's when they take the hammer to that soldier's head and hits him in the top of the head with the helmet.
And the blood just splatters out like melon.
But it splatters on the top of the helmet too, because it was obviously on the hammer itself. So when he hits him, there's a big red stain on the top of the helmet.
Oh, I've never noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed that. But that was the only thing.
When I go and watch it tonight, I'm going to have to pay attention. But honestly, I'm so focused on all the spray that goes from like neck down, because it just splat.
Yeah, and it's super quick.
And it draws your eye.
Yeah. But yeah.
Although, isn't there a plane that's supposed to be visible in a battle scene up in the sky in Braveheart? Isn't that one of the things? I've never seen it.
Is that Braveheart or is that Gladiator?
Both,
I know. I thought there was supposed
Braveheart
to be like a truck parked on a hill in Braveheart somewhere.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
And
I've never seen it.
I never have either.
I don't care enough to look.
No. And if I do see it, I'll be like, oh, well, somebody was late for the battle. So, okay.
I'm here, guys.
Sorry.
Don't charge yet. I'm here.
God damn it, Steven.
I made it.
Yeah. But no, you're right. It's not an effects heavy film as far as other than the sword fighting.
Yeah, but so it's not an effects heavy film, which helps. But I don't want that comment to take away from how good the effects are that are in the movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, it's not an effects heavy movie, but the little we have, we made sure are top notch.
Oh, yeah.
So the effects they have are practical. And they're done so well that, it just stands up to the test of time because there's no way they can age. Not really.
No.
Like,
not really.
Like William cuts that guy's head off. And so what you have is just a head on a mannequin or whatever, and he cuts the head off and the head rolls and the body falls. Yeah, that looks good because it's simple, it's practical, and it's effective. That guy gets his leg cut off and we see him hit the ground holding his stump, screaming, and then it cuts away and it looks good because they took the time and did it right. But it's also, it doesn't stay on any of these shots long enough to scrutinize it too much, and it's not like it's CGI'd over the top.
Yeah. The only other one I could think of is when, after he murders Mornay, he rides that horse into the river.
Yeah.
And the horse is obviously fake.
Yeah.
Because it's floating. But.
Or the fall killed the horse.
That could be too. Yeah, we'll go with that. Not the real horse.
Well, yeah, no horses were harmed in the making of this movie.
It's not like it was the 50s or the 60s where they would just shove horses down mountains and
yeah, horse.
We got to put a mannequin on this horse because we don't want the actor to get killed. Well, we don't give two shits about this horse.
Yeah, horse.
Yeah. Oh, the horse lived? Okay.
Good. We need a second take.
Exactly. Let's try that again.
To quote Steven, Jesus. So there's one more pairing of father and son I think we should talk about.
Okay.
What's the son's name? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Got nothing. He's just Longshanks' son.
Wiener. I don't know.
He's that little wiener guy.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Philip was the top in that relationship. He was.
Oh, I agree 100%.
So you have this overly harsh, overly brutal, totalitarian dictator-esque king in William the Longshanks. Because apparently, he was very tall. He had long shanks.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was why.
Yeah, if there's a ye old person and they were called the Longshanks, it's because they were tall and had long limbs. Your shank is a limb.
Okay.
So he was literally this big tall guy. So he was William the Longshanks.
I did not know that.
So Longshanks,
would his son be considered short shanks? Because he wasn't very tall.
I don't know anything about his son, if I'm being honest, and he might have just been a regular guy. It's not like he was.
He just shanks.
They don't get a nickname if they're just normal or average.
Oh, okay.
Should your girlfriends call you Short Shanks? No, you just leave it alone.
That's what they call me.
Oh, Short Shank Tevis. See, we're back to penises. You get two or more men talking leads to penises. It's a fact of life.
I should have saw that coming.
Cavemen just
drawing
dicks on cave walls. Where's that cave painting at? It's just like, I drew this epic hunt we did with that mammoth. What about you? I drew this huge dick. You know it's out there.
Oh, yeah. They don't take the picture of that one.
You know the ruins of Pompeii?
Yeah.
Immortalized forever in the ruins is graffiti in Pompeii from the time. And it was like, and there's stuff like, so-and-so has a little dick, or I F the waitress here, or, it just graffiti. Humanity has never changed.
For a good time.
Yeah, for a good time.
Go to this bar.
Go to the Weeping Gorgon and hit on Lucy, right?
The Weeping Gorgon.
Go to the Weeping Gorgon and hit on Lucy. Yeah, that's.
Oh.
Humanity hasn't changed. We've not grown or evolved.
Here I said, all brokenhearted.
I don't think he got to finish that one because the volcano went off, but But we have this brute of a guy and his effeminate son. Although I believe there's a great line from the Duke of York, who's reading a missive, and he's like, every town in northern England is burning, and my sodomite cousin says he has no troops to lend me. And I'm just going to that is a quote from the movie, and I'm just going to leave that where it is.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that his son and Philip were too busy looking at themselves all dressed up
And their entourage that looked a lot like the young band members of Queen.
Yes. Yes.
They look like ye old Queen.
Yes.
That one guy looks a lot like Brian May. I'm just saying. He's got the long, dark, feathered hair. Like, he looks like Brian May. So, could Longshanks just, in every conceivable way, be more disappointed in his son?
He kind of fixed the problem.
No, that's not how that works.
Well, in his eyes, I think. He thought he got rid of the problem.
He got rid of a problem.
Yeah.
We will stop him, sire. Who is this man who speaks to me as if I needed his advice? That's another line my buddies and I.
That's a good one.
Who is this man who speaks to me as if I needed his advice? Well, tell me, how would you advise me on the present situation? And they just dumps Philip out that window. Philip falls, dies. 3 guards run over. There's a dead body. They look up. There's the king, and they all just go, "Nope."
Yeah.
And they scatter.
They're like, oh, we don't care.
They just go, "Nothing to see here. That guy fell out of a window and landed on these bullets. Tragic accident."
Yeah, and then his son pulls a blade and tries to
stab him.
Yeah, and
credit where credit's due. He pulled a knife and went for it.
Yeah.
And Longshanks just sidesteps him and then backhands the shit out of him. And then I think kicks him in the stomach for good measure.
He goes down hard and...
Oh my God. He's like, okay, we have to buy the brute off. He could sack York. He can sack London. We have to buy him off. I can't go myself. If I were to fall under the sword of that savage or madman, whatever he says, my head could be in a basket. And I certainly can't send my weak son. The mere sight of him would drive any enemy to conquer all of England. As his son's gasping for breath on the ground because he got his ribs kicked in.
Yeah, and the way he's gasping for air, his mouth's wide open, his tongue is sticking out, and he's just... I was like, God dang, how hard did you get kicked?
Longshanks was wearing armored boots.
That's true. That's true.
He ate it. Okay, Longshanks is in armor. His son is in silk.
So after Longshanks goes through this spiel of who is he going to send, who's he going to send, this is where the DVD cuts, and you have to put in the second tape. And then it starts.
VHS, you mean?
VHS, yeah, tape. It's VHS tape.
Right, but you said DVD.
Did I say DVD?
You said this is where the DVD cuts, and then you put the other tape in.
Oh.
And I went, no, it's VHS.
Maybe your system's really fucked up.
I got one of those dual players.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then the second tape starts with William sleeping, and he dreams of his wife.
I want to touch on one more thing. Pass it over to you if there's anything you want to cover, and then I think final thoughts. William's dead. His head hangs from London Tower. His arms and legs to the 4 corners, shipped to the 4 corners of London, so everyone knows what happens when you fight England. And there's Robert the Bruce on the battlefield with the army. But let's be real. It's William's army.
Right.
And the English are ready for Robert the Bruce and the nobles to come out and surrender to them. And they go, and Robert stops. And he orders the nobles to stop, and he turns around. And he's looking at Hamish and Stephen and everyone else, but particularly them, because they all know each other. And he says, "You all bled with Wallace. Now bleed with me." He's asking them to not give up the fight. Keep fighting, and I will lead you like he should have done before.
Right.
And there's murmurs, and no one's really doing anything, and Hamish puts his axe and shield down. And he takes William's claymore off his back. Because he just carries Wallace's sword around. Because that's what you do. You're bro. Although, why Robert has the William's, wedding embroidery thing. Why wouldn't you let William, I don't know, like bury that or something? You know what I mean? Like,
Symbol.
because he's looking at it, and Hamish and Stephen are staring at him, looking at William's thing, and he like puts it away real quick. I'm like, why do you have that? Motherfucker, give that back.
He took it off of his body before they buried him.
Right? Like,
Right.
how did he get that? Although, I guess Hamish or Stephen could have snagged it because they were there at the execution, but then, did they give it to Robert? That seems unlikely. I'm digressing. I've digressed. But you bled with Wallace, now bleed with me. Hamish throws his shit down, pulls his sword out, gives a battle cry, and throws the sword. It's all majestically soaring through the air, and the music swells. It's getting triumphant as it sinks, blade first, into the ground. And Hamish picks up his shield and his axe and starts chanting, Wallace, Wallace, Wall. And the whole army is now cheering for Wallace in the memory of their leader. And they're like, you know what? We got one more in us. And Robert gives the charge order, and the Scottish charge. And that's when Mel Gibson as William Wallace kicks in as the narrator. Because it had been Robert the Bruce.
Right.
Throughout the whole movie until the end, and it's William. And he says, in year, 13, 14 of our Lord, starving and outnumbered, the Scottish took to the field. They fought like warrior poets. They fought like Scotsmen. And they won their freedom. What a great moment. And again, it's music, and you hear Hamish, and you hear the sword really sink into the earth. And it's got a really good, satisfying, just thunk. It's really satisfying. And then they just charge. And it's like, yeah, they got one more. So I think we're there. Final thoughts?
Let's do it.
Go ahead.
It's legitimately been at least 10 years since I've seen this movie. Almost 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
Not a moment was wasted.
It doesn't feel 3 hours long.
I could have sat there for 2 more hours and watched this.
Just to watch what happens to Hamish and Stephen.
Let's just do another 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Oh, fuck it. 2 hours of just their journey. I could have watched them two farm together.
We find out later that Stephen moves back into the village and becomes Hamish's quirky neighbor, and it becomes a sitcom.
It's grumpy old men.
Morning, dickhead. Jesus.
No, the acting, everything is perfect. The score is beautiful and haunting and magical at times. The scenery is unbelievable. If it was made today, I would say that it's CGI, but it's just everything is so pristine and gorgeous. The battle scenes, each one of them are outstanding and brutal and
unique, though.
Unique. I was just about to say they're each one of them are different to where it's not the same old shit, and you really get a sense of his strategic mind.
Mm-hmm.
The ending, God, the ending still gives me goosebumps.
That final yell.
The
prisoner wishes to say a word. Goosebumps. That final defiant freedom, goosebumps every time.
The way he just slowly, as his dying breath is escaping and it's slowly kind of fading away, and then his hand falls limp, and that's when the marriage cloth falls to the ground. Oh, I get goosebumps every time.
Every time.
And I was, honestly, when I was watching this, I thought, maybe I won't get it this time because I've seen it so many times. Nope. Still do.
Especially after the gap from the last time you had seen it.
Yeah. And I bet you if I go upstairs and turn it on, I would still get the exact same thing.
Well, and I bet you when I go home and turn it on.
Yeah. This movie deserves every award it got. It deserves every award it didn't get. It deserves a way higher score than 76
an
on
8.3. Absolute travesty.
That is How does it feel to be extremely wrong, Rotten Tomato?
It's amazing. Everything that you just said is completely wrong. Thanks, Luke.
There's not a moment of this movie I did not love. It's worth the ticket price and more. If this was in the theater, I would go watch it, and then I would come out, I would go grab a bite to eat, and I would go back in the theater and watch it again.
They'd have to kick me out.
Yeah. I am very upset that I did not see this in theaters.
'Cause you're a fool. You're a fool.
I'm damn straight I am. But yeah, this is top 5 easily.
Easily.
Top 5 movies.
Now I'm like, is Braveheart
For
my
me.
favorite movie of all time? It's either Braveheart or Tombstone. Right now, it might be Braveheart. It's a fluid list.
Yeah, it's always changing. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, if you have not ever seen this movie, if this movie has escaped you, check it out. I know it's on Paramount. I don't think it's on Netflix.
I put it my DVD in, so I have no
Yeah,
idea.
but if you don't have the DVD copy of it or the Blu-ray copy of it, just go to Paramount Plus, get a free trial, watch that movie, and then cancel the damn free trial.
Honestly, though, you'll probably keep the subscription just so you can go back and keep watching it. It's so good.
Yeah. What's your final thoughts, sir?
Well, my final thoughts are that IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes have made an enemy for life. You think I was harsh on you motherfuckers before? You've started a war. You've started a war you're not prepared for. I will burn your buildings to the ground. They will use this audio as I'm speaking in the court trial as damning testimony. And then they'll be like, Mr. Halsey, do you have any words? And I'll say, yeah, I've got some fucking words. I meant every fucking word I said, and I'd do it again. How's that? And I'm looking at you next, Variety.
You want to pick a fight?
Oh, I'm gonna go pick a fight. I want all the critics and writers for IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, Variety, Ebert.com for this criminal ratings that they've given here. First, they're going to have to march all the way home and stop at every house and beg forgiveness for 100 years of trash critical opinion. And then before all of that, I'm going to need them all to march across this battlefield to present themselves to our movie viewing fan base, put their heads between their own legs, and kiss their own asses.
I love it.
All right. Now, with that little bit of business out of the way, I can calm down again. Obviously, this movie is worth the ticket price. If there was a way I could give more money to this movie, I probably would. And truth be told, I do, because every time there's a new iteration of it, I buy it. Oh, it's on Blu-ray. Ooh, this one has 14 seconds of added content. Ooh, the original soundtrack, I'll buy 3. You know. Everything we've touched on, everything, this movie, top to bottom, front to back, is fantastic. It's a longer film, which I've griped about previously with other movies, and anymore now it's become too common. In 95, 3-hour movies weren't that common, but it was a big historical war epic, and so it was built as a longer movie experience. But when you watch it, it doesn't feel like it. It's so good. It's so good. Now I have some awards I want to give out. Because wouldn't you know it?
Oh, we have a Meredith Burton.
We have 2 Meredith Burton Award recipients that tie with the cavalcade of celebrities crammed into the clown car that has become the Meredith Burton Award.
We have our own army.
We have enough soldiers that we could easily sack York and invade Lower England.
Okay.
So the first one, obviously Mel Gibson.
Right.
Because we did Braveheart, and then before this, we did Lethal Weapon. There is another recipient that I teased you with earlier, and you couldn't remember who it was. And I shut the conversation down for this moment. So I'm reopening that conversation. Do you know who the second one is?
Is it a main character?
Side character. Prominently featured. We talked about him.
Okay, so now I'm running through the list of movies in my head that we've done.
I imagine everyone home is just shouting at you.
Is it English or Scottish?
It is Scottish. See, if I gave you a hint like you give me hints, I would just blurt out the name. It's Scottish. Now everyone's really screaming at you.
Did he die?
He did.
Fuck.
We already said Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Oh, I got it. Tommy Flanagan.
Tommy Flanagan. Because he was Cicero, Maximus's servant, whatever, in Gladiator.
Yep.
So Mel Gibson and Tommy Flanagan, welcome. We would like to bestow on you both the prestigious Meredith Burton Award.
Yeah, it's not an award we give out often.
You know, when we had this original idea, the award was going to carry so much more merit than it does. One day, this cycle of twos will be broken, and we will have one clear Meredith Burton Award winner.
And then I think we should kill it.
Just cap it. Well, now I feel like we have to be really choosy about who we want to give it to.
I know.
But that also then kind of takes away what the award's about.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Do you have anything?
No, I said my spiel.
All right, give me the hat.
All right.
I'm gonna hat it up. My pen is stuck in my notebook. Hatting it up. Searching. I don't like this one.
Okay.
It's pink. I haven't read it yet. I'm putting it back in.
That's the name of the movie.
No, I'm going for a green one.
Oh, okay.
I do not want to know what movies you're watching titled It's Pink.
Barbie.
No, Barbie is titled Barbie.
Oh, Pretty in Pink. There you go. I've never seen that, actually.
Oh, really?
Nope, never have.
Okay. Maybe we'll pull... Hold on. Searching.
You have not seen it until now.
Until now. No. Okay. Got it. We're going to go with this green slip of paper.
Okay.
We have multiple... You used multicolored Post-it notes when you made the hat list, so I'm pulling a green one. I don't know why. I'm feeling green.
Okay. Green's a good color.
Interesting. Looking forward to it, but I'm
Okay.
also nervous.
Okay.
A little nervous. We're looking at the other Ridley Scott film, Alien.
Okay. It has been definitely over 10 years since I've seen this movie.
It hasn't been that long for me. It's been a couple years. Been a few years for sure. And I know I like Alien, but this podcast sometimes makes me hate things I used to like.
Wait a minute.
Waiting.
Sigourney Weaver is in Alien.
She sure is.
She was also in Avatar.
Yep.
Shit.
Hold on, because she would be 3 if we kept a running tally. Would she not?
I don't think she's been in anything else.
Avatar, Rocky, Foreigner.
Can we say she was in Tombstone? Just give her the award.
Why Tombstone?
I don't know. She was background character.
Hold on. I'm looking.
She was the one who played the devil before they actually came out and took her hood off, and it was Dana Delaney. I don't think there's anything else she's done that we've done.
Man, for some reason I thought she had been in 2 already. But you're right. Yeah. Nope. So I definitely would have had her name written down. If she had,
Yeah.
Obviously I would have included Sigourney Weaver in my starring notes.
Okay, well, that's fun.
Well, you know what, though? It doesn't matter, though.
Doesn't matter. That's right.
That's a different list.
We're resetting.
Although technically, Braveheart would be in the new list.
You look confused.
I'm always confused, but we'll worry about it later. Tune in next week, everyone. I am confused, as always, but this has been the sultry voice of Jake. We are Ticket Price. That handsome fuck over there is Tevis. So, Jennifer Conley, if you're listening, hit us up. Tevis will take you out to a lovely dinner and get you Russell Stover's chocolates, if I recall. Thank you all for listening. This is Braveheart. Jump in next week as we look at the classic. Hopefully it remains a classic. Alien. Good night. Goddamn Meredith Burton Award for me. These motherfuckers.